What if TikTok, Pinterest, and Instagram all got together and had a baby? Well, maybe they kind of already did in a sense, in the form of a new app that is taking the store by storm, and that's called Lemon8. The word lemon with the number eight next to it. So, why does this matter? Is it the end of TikTok? Is it the beginning of something better than TikTok? Will TikTok run parallel to Lemon8? Because believe it or not, ByteDance, which is a major owner of TikTok, is also behind the new app Lemon8. So, as an entrepreneur and as very likely a content marketer on behalf of your business, what does all of this mean to you? Why do you care? And do you need to be bothered with yet another app? I'm going to give you all the details right now. You're working a job or maybe two because you got to pay the bills. But on the side, you've got a business as an entrepreneur, maybe even as a creator. You want to take your side hustle to startup levels of success. You're in the right place. That's what I did over 10 years ago as a content marketing for conversions based coach and as an entrepreneur for 25 years. So I definitely have the experience. I've been there and back and there and back again. So we're going to talk about Lemon8 versus TikTok. Is the end of TikTok? What are we doing? Because I want to help you as a solopreneur be a good content marketer on behalf of your business too. I'm Stacey Storino, and welcome to the Side Hustle to Startup podcast. I've been an attorney since 1998, an entrepreneur, like I said, for 25 years, and a content marketing business coach for the last 10 of those years. My goal is to help you go from tiny to mighty so that you can leave that long day job that you might be sick of, or you can put down all the gaggle of gig economy jobs that you've got going on so that you can focus on your own business full time if that's what you want, right? If you've got 45 seconds and you want a free and useful tip guide to help you make sure that your entrepreneurial journey is kicked off right, or that the foundation of your brand is properly set, you're going to want to pick up that guide at don'tbeafakeguru.com. It's all one word, the website, don'tbeafakeguru.com. And with that tip guide, you'll know if your brand presence is a thorough and successful one, whether you're looking to be known as a guru or not. Because look, if you've got a brand, you are a brand leader, you're trying to be a thought leader in a particular space. So you're kind of a guru, my friend. Embrace it and do it right with my guide at don'tbeafakeguru.com. Anyway, I created the Side Hustle to Startup podcast to give you simple, easy, actionable steps so that you can go from a super crazy busy life, both personally and professionally, where your business is nothing but perhaps a side hustle right now, to helping you grow it in a realistic way to a startup level of success. Each podcast covers a quick point about what's going on in the world today, sometimes straight up from the content marketing for conversions kind of lane, which we're going to be in today. And we're going to talk about how this trendy item relates to you as an entrepreneur and why that point matters and what, if anything, you do about what we discuss. And we'll also cover a tip to help you out in terms of your entrepreneurial financial offense and a tip to get you to double down on the financial defense as an entrepreneur. So that this way, every single day, you can move closer to your goal of startup type success. You're in the right place. So let's get started. So you would probably likely have to be living under a rock to have not seen videos, heard podcasts, seen in the news, seen social media posts. The discussion about, is this the end of TikTok? TikTok has been banned in a couple of countries, like, say, India, for quite some time now. The US has been playing around conceptually with banning the app. You probably heard till you're blue in the face all of the different theories and reasons as to why they might want to do that here in the US. You've also likely heard up until this point in time that certain governmental agencies, like federal and state levels, state employees, federal employees, municipal governmental employees are now being told you can't have TikTok. You can't have it professionally, you can't use it. There is an argument that if you have a separate phone that's your own and you have that app loaded on your phone and what you do in your own time is your own business. But on a governmental or a municipal level for quite a while now in a lot of the US, those employees can't be using TikTok. It has been banned in many municipal workplaces. The idea is, they want to protect, they want governmental information to be secure. And the concern is that even though TikTok is basically running out of the US, it's got a Californian office. The majority shareholder of this American business is ByteDance, and they are a Chinese company. Now, there's been plenty of testimony from TikTok, their execs, their representatives at hearings saying, I don't know what you're worried about. We don't send anything over to China per se. Just because a majority shareholder is in China doesn't mean that we are sending this information directly over to China. Some folks are buying it, some folks are not. So you've heard a lot of hubbub, very likely, from people saying, oh, TikTok's over. It's going to be banned holistically in the US. I'm a lawyer. I don't want to get into it today. We can do it in a separate podcast episode. I have a very hard time believing that they're going to have a wholesale ban of TikTok holistically across the US. We'll see. We'll talk about it another time because today I want to talk about Lemon8 versus TikTok and what Lemon8 represents in terms of an opportunity for you, just in case TikTok were to get some sort of holistic countrywide ban in the US. And if you live outside of the US, I have thousands of students across the globe from the past 10 years of being a coach. Some of them are going to listen live or on the replay. I still think that what I say here today in today's podcast episode is going to be useful to you too, even if you live outside of the US. So Lemon8 it's been out just for a matter of days, really, in the App Store. And it's one of the most highly, downloaded apps right now. It's one of the most downloaded lifestyle apps in Apple's App Store. And it has over 5 million downloads in the Google Play Store as of this snapshot of time. And Lemon8 kind of looks like if TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest got together and had a baby. It's kind of like a fusion blend app. You should know that ByteDance is behind Lemon8. So it has a majority shareholder presence for that entity as well, for whatever good that does you or doesn't do you. But keep that in mind. The argument is going that whatever issue might be tripping up TikTok, with a new app and maybe some tweaks, both in terms of service, terms of use, and behind the scenes, maybe they can cure whatever issue or issues might be concerning or of concern to the administration in different countries that have either led to bans or, like the US right now, they're threatening bans. So quick side note, if you have content on TikTok, I have some students that have thousands, tens of thousands of followers. And in the case of Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, they're my first 7-figure success client. They're not the only one I've had. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is at least, last I looked, over 860,000 fans or followers on TikTok. Their videos get millions and millions of views. And it has driven a lot of traffic to their mom and pop shop, single location store in New York. You have people traveling from the tri-state area and beyond saying, my kids, my grandkids, or myself have discovered you on TikTok, and we just had to go. We're in town, we're in a caravan, we just have to go. So even for a food service establishment like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, they are heading towards 1 million fans or followers on TikTok. They're going to be a mega huge influencer. And they've gotten there in a very short period of time. not days or weeks, but it's still a very short period of time using a very strategic approach that I teach my students. So, again, if you want some hints about what that approach is holistically for your brand, if you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube and not just a podcast version, or if you're listening on the podcast version, you can navigate over to YouTube and you can download my free guide at don'tbeafakeguru.com. It's free, it's simple, it's a good quick start guide. You'll know if you have a good foundation set for the content marketing that you do, relationship marketing, sales based marketing, both on behalf of your business. Okay, so TikTok, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, and other clients of mine are a little concerned, like what happens if there's a ban in the US? We're not going to be able to upload. We're not going to be able to get, updates in the App Store once the ban goes through. That's a for sure thing. So what I've said to that clientele, including Joe's Dairy Bar, I'm going to say to you right now, TikTok wise, then we'll get into TikTok versus Lemon8 and what Lemon8 is good for. No matter who you are and how much content marketing you're doing. We're going to get there in a second. You never want to put all of your content marketing eggs in one basket. I get a ton of business from YouTube. So I love posting stuff to YouTube daily. It pays for me. It grows my email list. It grows my bottom line. It's great. You don't have to be a mega influencer on any platform to get quite a bit of action and traction. You could have hundreds to thousands of ideal customers or followers or subscribers. If they're your ideal customers more often than not, and they are qualified, meaning they have the ability to spend and they want and or need what it is that your business is about, you could have 100 subs or followers on any platform and do really well if you knew what you were doing. And you could get people into and through a marketing and sales funnel very, very effectively. Now, the question might be, well, let me say this. If all of your eggs is in one basket, like if I did everything on YouTube and suddenly YouTube was banned, which nobody thinks it would ever happen, I'd be in trouble because where do I put all my assets before the app can't be used or you can't get updates for it or you can no longer upload fresh content. So sooner or later, what you do have on a platform would be stale. This is why I always tell my students, you want to cross post on the daily on the top 2 social media platforms that your ideal customer or niche is into right now. It might not be what you care about. You do what you want on your own time. Because I have plenty of clientele in their 20s, 30s, 40s, but I also have plenty of clientele in their 50s, 60s, 70s. A lot of them could have cared less about TikTok, but once they started posting their daily, they found that they were growing their emails. They were getting people asking about buying products or getting services in the messages on TikTok, what have you. Surprise! When you're a business owner, it's less about posting, and busy work. It's more about having a strategic way to get people, as I said, into and through your marketing and sales funnel. Now, that's why I say the top 2 social media platforms that's most important to your niche, because you're at least spreading your risk. All your eggs aren't in one basket. So I know there's a question, if TikTok is banned, won't Lemon8 also be banned since it's owned by the same company? Not necessarily, because like I said a moment ago, Lemon8's a very recent app. There are things that are going on in front of the scenes and behind the scenes that the company might have tweaked, altered, or spun so that they are addressing any sort of concerns that governmental entities might be having with TikTok. So just because there's a similar ownership structure, it's still a different entity. There might be other owners in different concentrations too. So it's not the same exact thing in terms of ownership, in terms of structure, in terms of service, terms of use with the public and with users, and in terms of what's done with data, how much of it is collected, where it's stored, how long it's stored. So Lemon8 might be a cure-all for TikTok, and it might be a good hedge just in case TikTok gets more countries banning it in whole or in part. So I think you might know where I'm going to go with this just before we get into Lemonade a little bit more, because it's not the same exact thing as TikTok anyway. It's like I said, it's like if TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram had a baby, you would get Lemon8. It actually is pretty cool if you liked the retro version of Instagram in terms of photos and videos and GIFs and carousels. You can have all of those things. And at least right now, in this snapshot of time, they're all getting good traction. They're all getting like algorithmic equality in terms of what shows up in someone's feed and or what's suggested out to them in search or discovery, right? So you're always thinking strategically when you're posting content to platforms three different ways. What are my current followers and subscribers going to see in their feed? Because almost never do they see everything that every source posts that they're following or subscribed to. If they did, their feeds rather would just spin. It would be too much. So your followers and subs won't necessarily see every single thing from you anyway. But what can you do to increase the odds platform by platform so that they will see more of your stuff? And of course, if they navigate to your account, they'll see all the rest of it. But number two, what gets ranked how in search on a platform? So we're just learning about Lemon8 now because it's so new. And then also you have suggested. So on Instagram, suggested traffic would be on the explore page. On YouTube, it could be on the home page. It could be suggested or up next. There are different ways that you can get found. Facebook will suggest things out, not just Facebook Reels, but other forms of content in your feed as well. So they've all have what your followers will see and won't see, how you rank and how you fare in search, and then also how you fare in terms of suggested. How can you get the algorithms? How can you all but compel them to suggest you out more and more? Not to everybody. Everybody isn't your ideal customer, but to your ideal customer more than anyone else. Because those are going to be the people that if they know, like, and trust you, your brand, and its offerings enough, when they're ready, willing, and able to, they'll buy from you. When you're content marketing from an entrepreneurial mindset, it's different than just bigger, bigger, bigger. I want a zillion followers. Because Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is a 7-figure success since they've been working with me through the years. They don't necessarily care that they have hundreds of thousands. They're heading towards 1 million followers on TikTok. What they care about is, of the followers that they do have, how much of that brings traffic to their door? Who buys their merch, who decides they're going to visit Joe's. Joe's has become, in their case, thanks to TikTok and their presence on other platforms, they've become like a destination or a tourist stop. That's going to push them from hundreds of thousands to 1 million or more in value as a business. So social media is very powerful, even if you yourself could care less about it on your own time. Now, Lemon8, the way things are done between you signing up and then you being a user, there are some similarities to Instagram and TikTok. You've got your icon photo, you've got your bio. It's limited to 80 characters right now. So it's very limited, much in the same way that you don't have a huge character count in TikTok or in Instagram. So you have to be very, very choosy and careful with the words that you put in the bio for Lemon8, the same way you'd have to, because you don't have a huge character count in TikTok, the same way you'd have to for Instagram as well. What's really cool about Lemon8 is you can not only put up all those short form videos that you would be putting on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And if you use the Meta Business Suite, which is free, you can cross post instantaneously, all in one shot, a reel to both Instagram and Facebook. You may as well. If you're going to get two for the price of one, who cares? If Instagram is really going to be more used by your ideal customer, and then you feel like right now you need to be on YouTube and or TikTok, and Facebook's kind of Who cares? I do think that every business should have a Facebook page presence just because it looks weird if you don't. To people who might bounce around on Facebook to look up their older family members and friends. If they're searching for you just to see if you have a presence and you don't have one, even though they may be living on Insta and TikTok, it might come across a little weird. In the same way that if you want to be treated as a business, if you don't have a website, even a basic one of your own, up to 80% of people won't buy from you. They will treat you like a hobbyist or a fly by night if they can toggle back and forth between you and another similarly situated entrepreneur, business owner, coach, what have you. They'd rather go for the ones that have a website as opposed to ones that don't. So, but that's not the point of today's podcast. The point of today's podcast is that you really do need to look into getting Lemon8. It is free. I think they have set it up and situated it in front of the scenes or behind the scenes so that it's curing some of the issues that TikTok potentially has in the United States and elsewhere, where maybe it's been banned, maybe it hasn't. And further to what I said before, you never want to have all of your content marketing assets in one basket, all those eggs in one basket. So if you're seriously concerned about your short form content on TikTok, you might want to start downloading it and uploading it directly to Lemon8. So this way you at least have some redundancy. If you've not been following me or a coach like me who's been talking about content redundancy before, at least now, especially if you don't have more than like several dozen, short form videos or what have you, it's not going to take you terribly long to download and upload between the two. And at least then you protected yourself. As of right now, Lemon8 is not penalizing you in any way algorithmically for having the TikTok logo on your videos. I don't know if that's going to last forever, but right now, if you're like, I want to get my redundancy factor going, that's what Lemon8 is good for. No matter who's listening to me, no matter how many content-based assets you currently have, at least have it as a redundancy if you have no other redundancies. If you have been doing what I've been teaching a lot of my students to do, and you take TikToks, you take the raw video that's on your camera roll and you upload it to TikTok, you optimize it, you publish it as a TikTok, you go back to the camera roll, you can upload it to Instagram and Facebook through the Meta Business Suite and just kill two birds with one stone there. Then you can go back to the camera roll video again and upload it to YouTube and get a short. You're really covering 4 bases for the price of one, even if 2 of those social media platforms are more important to your people than others. Rising tides lift all boats. You're increasing your discoverability. I would just simply have, if you're a solopreneur, if you're wearing all the hats, or you have a small team and you and your team just can't do all the things right now, that's fine. I would edit the video so that it's ready to go from the camera app and you're not relying upon, downloading a TikTok. You think you're going to use an app to wipe off the logo. Yeah, okay, so the humans don't see the logo for TikTok when you repurpose it elsewhere. But remember the dangers as long as I'm talking about this. The source file hasn't changed. It's something you've downloaded from TikTok. So when you try to upload it to YouTube, YouTube's algorithms aren't necessarily going to go out of their way to give priority and preference to something that's really sloppy seconds from another platform. Removing the logo doesn't fool the AI or the artificial intelligence that rules from platform to platform. Because Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, you can cross post within those two and you're fine. But they don't own, it's not the same owners, it's not the same ownership structure as TikTok, as YouTube, obviously. So they're all competitors with one another. So you can remove that logo with a free or paid app, but you could still not get the reach that you deserve otherwise on those platforms. those other competitor platforms. So that's why I tell my students not to do that. If you're going to be cross posting, just edit everything. Use something like Epidemic Sound, so that when you link all your accounts together with Epidemic, when you set up your account, the music that you use is safe to use on all the platforms. You won't get content strikes. So if you or someone on your behalf is editing a bunch of short form vertical video content for them, like my video editor, we have access to Epidemic Sound. We also have access to Storyblocks, which I highly recommend. And again, you will not get content strikes for using Storyblocks. If you're looking for a free version, because Storyblocks is paid, I mean, my business makes good money, not to flex, but I can afford to reinvest back into my business. If that's not you right now, I would go to pexels.com, Pexels.com, not sponsored. And there, just check the permissions, but you should be safe to use video snippets or clips and static images if you're going to edit together your own short form content. But again, be careful. You also don't want to get content strikes between the various platforms. So if you're using the free music and sound effects on YouTube when you create a short, you can't just download the short and upload it to TikTok and or Facebook and Instagram and not expect to get a content strike. So that's really another topic that we can go into more in another day. But let's go back to Lemon8. So it is like TikTok, and it's great for redundancy for your TikToks. And there I would be less worried about the source file being from TikTok, given the fact that you do have some similar ownership structures between the two companies. At least as of right now, you shouldn't get reduced algorithmic reach for your repurposed TikTok content. But it also is giving very good, and as I understand it, as of right now, very good equal algorithmic reach for pictures, which Instagram was not doing for a while when they were trying to get into the short form content game. And they were saying Reels is going to get the best algorithmic push. It's not that well optimized. Pictures, GIFs and carousels can't do well on Instagram. If you optimize them well, they'll perform well as you might otherwise expect. But that algorithmic extra bonus push, we're only giving that to Reels. Now, recently, they've had to go back on that claim and say, oh, no, try your pictures and everything. They might get a little push now because Instagram got a lot of pushback from people who have been with them for years and years. And they're like, it's one thing if you say, we'd love for you to put video up on Instagram and it's my choice. But it's another thing if I feel like you have totally become a video first platform, which Instagram's CEO, Adam Mosseri, came out and literally said about 2 years ago. It set off a firestorm with longtime users who might have just simply enjoyed their photos and their photo carousels. And if they wanted to pop out a meme and be all cute, or pop out a GIF and be all cute from, say, Canva, they could do it, but they wanted to feel like everything got an equal chance. So now Insta's had to go back and kind of backpedal a little. Lemon8's like, bring everything up here. As of right now, everything's getting the same kind of algorithmic chance. So again, who knows how long that's going to last for. So you can use it like Instagram with carousels. You can use it like Instagram for videos and reels and stuff like that. Now, how is it like Pinterest? This is kind of cool. You can create collections, or they're like boards. They don't call them boards. And you can have stuff by topic be suggested out to you. You can collect content of all kinds and save it within a grouping or a collection. So it's very Pinteresty how it feels. And maybe by melding the best of all three platform worlds, Lemon8 gets away with saying we are a different experience than these other three platforms. We're taking the best of all those worlds, spinning it together and making it something that is a bit more uniquely our own. So do I think you should get Lemon8, even though ByteDance is still a partial owner of it? As of right now, I don't see why not. ByteDance isn't stupid. The company that owns Lemon8 versus TikTok isn't stupid. Whatever is going on with TikTok that is so troubling lawmakers and such, they're not just going to spew out something with different branding and pretend that it's a totally different thing. I think it's their way to cure whatever is going on with TikTok, or at least to tamp down issues that are happening with TikTok, or what people fear might become issues with TikTok in terms of data and data mining and where that data goes. And does it go to China, or is it kept secure on encrypted servers only here in the US? Because that's where the TikTok company itself is really situated. So I don't think they'd be stupid enough to recreate the same problems and just have it wear a different pair of pants, so to speak, or a different type of branding. So I do think the odds are better if you have security issues. All the platforms can get hacked. I would, have any sort of security two-factor authentication on any platform and really any software that you have, no matter what device is on. Facebook and Insta, they get hacked. Like, you can Google the latest statistics, but it's like every however many seconds. So it's not like these other more venerable platforms are necessarily safer in terms of hacking, data mining, and security breaches. Okay, like, come on. It Go Google it. You do not have to take my word for it. So I like Lemon8 because of a few reasons. Number one, the redundancy factor. Number two, at least for now, you don't have to go crazy that the source file is from TikTok. So, quick and easy redundancy factor to protect your pre existing assets that might be on TikTok. And no matter what you do, please don't have all your eggs in one basket anyway, whether you have any content on TikTok or not currently. So I would always have at least shorts and then Facebook/Instagram reels for short form vertical video content. Can your longer form videos be on YouTube and elsewhere? For those people that do political stuff, like maybe Rumble, I'm not into politics. This channel isn't about politics, but my brand has nothing to do with politics. But you could take the longer form MP4 version and you could upload it to Facebook wholesale if you have a page or a group that you want to keep active too. My advice is, if you're going to publish something to YouTube, at least give it a couple of days to get whatever kind of natural traction that it gets. And then you can upload the same MP4 that you otherwise uploaded to YouTube. And then you can repurpose it on Facebook. You could edit it or have a video editor edit it so that the longer form piece of content for YouTube and or Facebook could be uploaded on what used to be called IGTV and now is just basically, like, it's not a reel if it's over 60 seconds. So it's just Instagram video. They keep changing names on it, but whatever. If you've got an asset, use it and cross post it, because hey, you never know. But I also like Lemon8 for another reason. Even if you plan, whether you plan on posting a lot of content on Lemon8 or not, it's a great time to go grab the handle to protect your brand integrity as a solopreneur, as a small business, as a mom and pop shop. Don't let somebody else grab your personal name and or your business name. If you can get there first, you should. That can be said about any new platform that's out there. Businesses large and small will run and grab up, they'll do the digital land grabs. Somebody else can't beat them to it. So that's another piece of advice that I give you. The app's free, so it costs you nothing but a tiny little bit of sweat equity to open a couple of accounts to protect your own name versus your business name if your business isn't eponymous or self-named. And then I think it's good to be where you're new and fresh, because when you do that, even if you're cross posting intelligently from elsewhere, so you're not getting content strikes, I think you have a good chance to rank and get traction with any platform that goes even kind of up the ladder, let alone go megasonic the way TikTok was for a good 2 years after it became TikTok for Musical.ly. I think the good news is that, you know, as of right now, Lemon8 is for the last several days to a week the largest, one of the most popular uploads, period, both in the Apple App Store and in the Google Play Store. So your Apple and Android users are just snapping it up. Probably for a lot of the reasons we discussed here in terms of being content consumers, let alone content creators. So I think that, even if you are intelligently repurposing even pictures that you would post on Instagram, cross post them to Lemon8. What's the worst that happens? Right now, you'd have more people see you, your brand, its offerings, and you can become a thought leader in your space more effectively now on a platform like Lemon8. I don't know that I would be talking about it, but for the fact that it's really hit the news quite so hard and it's rising up the ranks quite so much. Pardon me. Apologies. Sorry. This is what happens when you shoot live. So this has been a very strategically packed episode. My goodness, I'm sorry. So definitely go through. If you missed any of the live, go back and listen to the replay. A whole bunch of stuff in terms of redundancy, protections, protecting brand integrity, the ability to rank and gain traction. Make sure that your bio on Lemon8 can navigate someone somewhere to get onto your email list. Lead capture is key. Since you're going to have a disproportionately unusual piece of time, space, and time to really get in front of people and get fresh eyes on you as a brand leader, you as a business owner, and your offerings. So go back, make sure that you have your little checklist of what to do with Lemon8 versus TikTok versus YouTube Shorts versus Instagram and Facebook Reels. And not just short form video content. I would be repurposing things that I would put in carousels on Instagram to Lemon8. I would be repurposing pictures that I post on Instagram to Lemon8. But so it's a very important window of time that we're in. So like I like to do with all of my podcast episodes, I like to give at least another actionable tip in terms of financial offense and another actionable tip in terms of financial defense. While I'm recording this video live, it's the deadline to file your annual taxes for the year 2023 in the US. So in terms of financial offense, one quick thing I would recommend, especially if you're a entrepreneur going into entrepreneur phase, or you're a new or relatively new entrepreneur, solopreneur, small business. Once you're in a business, like officially in a business, there are a ton of things that you can write off against income, and also a ton of things that you should be reporting so you stay in compliance with your states, territories, holdings where applicable, and the federal government. And even if you're listening to me and you're from abroad, like in Canada, you've got your provinces and the federal level, right? So different countries, but similar ideas, right? So I would invest financial offense wise into a CPA, a tax lawyer, tax barrister, whatever they call it in the different countries that you might be listening from, so that this way you're not DIYing, because who knows what you're messing up that might get caught on an audit later, and then you pay penalties and interest. So, trying to DIY or just always using software and like you cross your fingers, answer all the questions, and it pops out results for you. That might be one thing if you're doing your personal taxes, but it's another thing when you are a business. So I would make sure that I invest. If I were you, I've been in business 25 years, last 10 as a coach. I would invest in a tax expert, CPA or certified public accountant, tax barrister, whatever they call it in your country. The financial defense piece of advice that I'd give, since we're tax themed here, is you want to make sure that you have all of your write-offs documented. Bookkeeping is something you can, task out for pay later, but I'd rather you get the tax expert like a CPA first if you're like, I can't afford both. And yes, continue to do your own bookkeeping. But my best advice is make sure that you have some sort of system, paper, electronic app, software. I don't even care about that. What I want you to do is to be all about capturing every last write off that you can. So, I mentioned story blocks and epidemic sound before. If you are investing in one or both of those things, I would definitely be recording it and writing it off against my income. And if you're in a situation where you're paying into your taxes every business quarter, like many businesses in the US do, for example, don't save it all up all at once. Write it off against any income month to month, quarter to quarter to reduce your overall tax burden that you may still have to pay. Of course, you want to be in the position of having a very profitable business. That does mean that sooner or later, you're always going to be paying taxes and not getting refunds. But then again, you're doing that much better financially anyway in the long run. So make sure you go and pick up your free guide of mine at don'tbeafakeguru.com, all one word. And yes, we're at the end of the podcast, but listen, all this talk really has me curious about what you think about what we covered today. Financial offense, financial defense as an entrepreneur, Lemon8 versus TikTok. What do you think? For real, I want you to comment down below if you're watching the live stream slash replay video podcast of this episode. If not, please navigate over to the Stacey Storino YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification and select all, because you can not only get your questions and comments answered and addressed in my YouTube videos, it's really the best place to catch me if this is our first dealing with one another. But I have plenty of longer form videos that are great trainings for you in terms of content marketing and planning and optimizing and publishing content, marketing and sales based content, marketing strategies. And of course, I put out daily shorts as well, little bite sized tips, tricks, and techniques for you to consider, from entrepreneurial mindset to the actual brass tacks of content marketing. So I always want to hear from you. So I hope you subscribe, you click that bell notification, select all, and that you place any comments or questions down below on any of the videos corresponding to those questions and comments. I love to hear from you guys. So that's it. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you on YouTube.